Hello and welcome back to Football Kentron, the only English language podcast dedicated to Armenian football. I am your host Adam, and I'm joined here by the usual suspects in Chadens and Armen. How are you gentlemen doing?
Good as always, baby.
Yep. What about you, Adam?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. It's a beautiful Saturday morning here in LA and ready to talk some football. So let's dive right into it, shall we? The Armenian Premier League is back in action as Bekma took on Punic in the opening match yesterday. Punic won by a scoreline of 4-0, and Gevor Ghazarian scored on his debut back in Armenia. And according to reports, some scouting reports from our little scouting network that we've created, Eric Vardanyan had also played very, very well. What are your quick thoughts on that, guys?
Big statement from Punic. It's early, it's the first game, but it's a big statement.
I'm gonna say Eric Vardanyan, FYI guys, is a Spanish speaker from his Barcelona years, so it's gonna be very helpful to have him near Caparros.
Yeah, I think a few good performances and he can easily replace a domestic player on the national team.
He could be a super sub.
Yeah, some other fixtures in the Premier League include Alashkert versus Ararat Armenia, Urartu versus Norabank, Sevan versus Van, and Ararat versus Noah. Armenian Premier League is, of course, all live streamed on YouTube, so there's no excuse. Just watch it. It's free.
Yep, and it's tomorrow. Not wait, we're recording. Yeah, so it's tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, but this is going out on Wednesday, so.
Tune in next game week.
Yeah, tune in next game week. All right, let's move on. Chadens, the UEFA Champions League. What were our results looking like?
Not too good, unfortunately. Alashkert, with an aggregate score, lost 1-4 against Sheriff. They lost the first game with a one goal only, so we still had hopes, but second game ended with a 3-1 away loss. And then Kairat, where we have Kamo Hovhannisyan, again lost, unfortunately, to Red Star Belgrade, a very good, well-known team from Serbia. The first game was 2-1 and the second game 5-0.
Yeah, so let's just focus on Alashkert for a second. The first game was very close. Neither team was really creating any chances, and that's what kind of made us think Alashkert could do this. But at the end of the day, there was like no creativity at all. It didn't even look like there was a game plan. But considering the fact that they don't even have a manager right now, I'm not surprised. And for those who don't know, Alexander Grigoryan, who was appointed manager last season and won the title with them, he had to leave due to wanting to be closer to his wife, who was having medical issues. So,
all the best to him.
All the best to him, and Alashkert are really, really suffering. Let's move on to the Conference League. Armen, walk us through some of our results.
Yeah, well, we gotta begin with what an aggregate score, 5-7 for Slaz Club, beating Ararat Yerevan. That was the best performing Armenian team in Europe this season. Mm-hmm. Only one game lost for Ararat through the whole season, European season, 2-4, sadly, because they drew. They ironically drew 3-3. I believe it was in Poland. I'm confident. I'm happy about their European season, their European run. Then on to European clubs with Armenian players. We have Kazakhstani Astana, the great Kazakh Giants, with Tikran Barsekyan, that played pretty well and beat Aris Salonika on a 3-2 aggregate score. They won. Astana won the first leg 2-0 and lost the second leg 2-0 again. It was therefore 2-2, and Astana coincidentally happened to score on the last minute of extra time, making it through to the next round. It was insane. On to a less insane result. FC Riga, the handball team, with our boy Edgar Babayan on the bench, not even starting, Jesus, won 3-0 against Macedonian Skendia. 2-0 the first leg, 1-0 the second leg, and still Babayan needs to leave. Shakhtar Karaganda from Kazakhstan as well had featuring Gevorg Najarian and Solomon Udo in defensive midfield. They made it through against Steaua Bucharest from Romania, and again, insane 2-2 draw on aggregate. They lost the first game 1-0 and won the second one, equalizing the game on the last minute. After a goalless extra time, they happened to win on penalty kicks. It was also insane. But sadly,
Udo
Solomon
transferred,
Udo
right?
left.
Yeah, we'll
we're
get
gonna
into
be
that.
talking about that.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
And last European result, guys, from this last round, FC Žilina from Slovakia with our Football Kentron star Vahan Bechakchian beat Apollon Limassol from Cyprus 5-3 on aggregate, winning the first leg 3-1 and drawing the second one. They were losing the second leg, and actually after the first legs, when Vahan was left on the bench to rest, but when things looked a little shaky for Žilina, Vahan was subbed in, and Apollon looked like it was going to take it, but nope. Vahan was there, assist for Žilina, and win for Žilina thanks to the Armenian star.
So, quick talking point for each match. We'll start with Ararat's game. The aggregate, of course, sets you back a little bit, but it brings up the very obvious shortcoming, and that is the defense. Ararat scored 5 goals, which clearly shows that they were more than good enough to progress in this competition, but their shortcomings came in defense. The amount of individual errors that led to goals, you can physically see it in front of you. That was the amount of individual errors that led to goals. It just, we're crying out for the need of good young Armenian defenders that we just don't have right now, and it sucks. Second talking point. I thought Tico was supposed to leave Astana. Didn't he have a medical? What happened to that? Third talking point, Riga Babayan, I believe he is still with them. He flew back to Riga, as he posted on Instagram. So it looks like what we had initially anticipated of if Riga make it to European competition, he's likely going to stay, is holding true.
And I think the same's going to happen to Tico. They're both going to wait until and see what happens in European competitions.
Yeah, because they'll know before the transfer. They'll know before the window's closed, right?
Hopefully.
There's still time. I mean, there's 1 month exactly, so.
Yeah, there's 1 month. Yeah, so they won't know.
Yeah, and time is ticking.
And then speaking on behalf of Vahan, he has 3 goals and 3 assists already this season in all competition. And that is in like 2 weeks of play. So I'm telling you, man, this kid
not even playing 90 minutes every game.
Yeah, he's not even playing. He's not even starting, which I'm still just doesn't make sense to me.
No, I have a theory.
He was subbed in to rest.
Yeah, I get that. Well, what's your theory, Chance?
Remember about the Leverkusen thing I was saying a few months ago in the earlier podcast? Well, like 40 minutes ago, there was news that Eric, no, not Eric. What's his name? Leon Bailey is leaving from Leverkusen to go to Aston Villa.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting cash.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see if that happens.
It's not even related for sure, but you never know.
If that happens, Chadens, you're a certified genius. All right, so the fixtures now. Alashkert are in the UEFA Europa League. They will be facing Kamo Hovhannisyan's Kairat Almaty of Kazakhstan. That is going to be on, oh my God, this was written in European, the 5th of August. the dates were written not how we did. Okay, the proper date, sure. And then we have Hovhannisyan Barzumyan's Anatorsis Fumugusta is entering into European competition at the third qualifying round, and they will be taking on Rapid Vienna on the same day. In the UEFA Conference League, we have FC Riga, of course, Edgar Babayan, will be taking on Hibernians of Gibraltar on the 8th, and Astana with Tikram Barsegyan are taking on Koups, who were the team that knocked Noah out of the competition. And then we have Shakhtar Karaganda with Najarian taking on Kolos of Ukraine. And then, of course, Zhilina with Vahan Bichakyan taking on Tobol, the former club of plenty of Armenian players.
Zhilina looks really strong with Vahan. So I think that's the best fixture.
Not only do I think Zhilina is going to make it to the Conference League, I think Zhilina is going to be going very far in the Conference League.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
If Vahan stays, I guarantee you they will be making at least the quarterfinals. That is my prediction. All right. Let us get into our Armenian players from around the globe. We have a lot to talk about for this one today.
This is nice.
Armen, kick it off.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the main course. We will kick off our meze with Hrant Mamedova Iranosyan. This is insane. We have discussed this guy a lot, you know. Why? Because he plays for Bayern München. That's Aram's team. That's insane. That's a world giant. Okay, so who is Hrant Mamedova Iranosyan? He was born in Germany from Armenian parents that fled the Soviet Republic of Azerbaijan, that, as not many people know, had to change their last names because Armenians in Azerbaijan, even during Soviet times, were forced to change their last names. Over the centuries, and even before it was Soviet era, whether it's for social or economic pressure, fear of the ever common Armenophobic attacks, or straight up an actually official statement. And to be honest, the same would happen in Western Armenia, today's Turkey, you know, or in the rest of the Ottoman Empire, where millions of Armenians had to change their last names to Turkish last names or names with Turkish roots. Such would be the case of Armenian football players and national team players, actually. Arasus Bilis, Andrei Chalishir, Vahan Bichakyan, etc., etc. So now, Hrant is spending his first senior Bayern München preseason under Julian Nagelsmann's first season at the helm. That's crazy. He played 30 minutes off the bench against Ajax, 30 minutes off the bench against Mönchengladbach. He has been playing up top, you know, sole striker, number 9, as you wish to call it. And in my opinion, he played great. Solid, to be honest. He needs more time and more opportunities for me. What do you guys think?
Yes, and I think he did play really well, but surprisingly, as we're recording, Bayern are playing Napoli in a friendly, and there are a lot of youth players on the bench, but he is not one of them. So interested to know why that is the case, because he has played so many minutes. We had, of course, in our chat kind of discussed the possibility of him going out on loan, which is something that Bayern does very regularly with their young players, with the more promising young players. And as we literally just talked about before hopping on, Joshua Zirkzee came back on loan from Parma, so maybe that could be the reason for right now of why he's not in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for, big time. That would be beautiful. Not like the reason for him not to be today on the bench. It has to be a loan. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, look, we'll see.
It will be. It makes sense because that's what they mostly do. They just send on loan. And the thing is, it needs to be a team where there's some competition. If it's going to be second division, let's say, a very top team. Or if it's going to be first division, then some mid-table team definitely, because that's where he'll boost his stats.
Needs to be a class competition so that he doesn't drop his level. Yeah.
But this
Yeah,
is the thing.
exactly.
He's coming from Bayern. He's coming from Bayern, so they're gonna loan him somewhere good. He's not gonna be loaned somewhere bad. It's just not gonna happen.
Never. No. Plus, also think about his wages. They need to cover that.
Anything is possible. Anything is possible in the football world, man. We just have to hope for the best and make sure. Hope
here we go. This is the reason why he didn't play. He played in the FC Bayern 2 match yesterday. There you go.
Would it be a competitive match?
I believe so. So that's probably why and that was yesterday, so that's probably why he's not playing today. So yeah, no, he's promising. Of course, me being a Bayern Munich fan, I'm extremely happy. I'm just hoping that he decides to play for Armenia. That's it. And there was a lot of people who were questioning his Armenianness. And he
go check Instagram, man. Go check Instagram. Whoever it is, check Instagram. We're not lying. We're not liars. Check Instagram. That's my statement.
We're all friends here. Look, he will play for Armenia, guys. Don't worry about that. The thing is when, because as I always say, for any football player, first it's key for them individually to cement their place in their club careers. And once that's out of the question, he can play for Armenia, because he's not going to play for Germany.
Well, here's the thing. If you're a Bayern player, there's always going to be the possibility of you playing for the German under-21 national team. And we got to remember, he's really young, man. So there's that possibility. He could still play for Germany under-21. Don't kid yourself. He's a Bayern Munich player. If he's good enough to be in the Bayern Munich, if he's good enough to be part of the Bayern Munich first team at the age of 18, I'm not saying he is, because clearly, he hasn't cemented his place yet. He probably won't be. He'll probably be one of those players that are bouncing back and forth. If there's an injury to Choupo-Moting, he might come in, for example. But if that is the case, you're more than good enough to play for the German under-21 national team, which, by the way, lacks Bayern Munich players. He's not going to get called up. I don't think he is.
But Germany has the 40 teams from first and second Bundesliga are full of German players with enough quality to play for the Mannschaft.
Yeah, but they don't play for Bayern Munich.
5th of September, you'll see the answer.
All right, we'll see. All right, next up, we have Gor Manvelyan, another future star of Armenian football, who is doing a lot of things. He's doing a lot of preseason matches. He's doing a lot of preseason photo sessions. He's in the new kit promo. He is all about Nantes, and Nantes seems to be all about him. Thoughts, guys? Gor Manvelyan, how soon can we see this guy in a national team shirt?
I would say now. I would say next month in the September window. I mean, now the question is starting or sub. Most likely he's going to be a sub, but he could perfectly be called up, because if you think about it, Caparros called up Spertian when he was in Krasnodar 2, and he started him, he played him, he placed faith on him, and he paid off scoring on his very debut. Same will happen with Gor Manvelyan, and Gor is right off the bat playing at a higher level, and most likely everything points out that to Gor actually having played time for Nantes senior squad, unlike Spertian when he made his national team debut.
Yeah, and if you actually take a look at any of Gor Manvelyan's Instagram pictures, take a look at the comment section, it's just all Armenian flags.
Not just that. If you go to Nantes fan pages and fan forums and stuff, they are very pleased with Gor and with his preseason. So is actually Nantes coaching staff. So everything points out to him, to the very least, starting League on at the bench.
Yeah, and if that's the case, I think that's more than good enough for him to get a national team call-up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Considering who our backup options are, we have Karapetyan and Artur Miranyan, both play in the Armenian Premier League. Both good seasoned players. Of course, we know they each bring a specific skill set that may be needed. But for example, Karapetyan hasn't scored in forever. I would much rather have
aggressiveness.
I would much rather have a young, hungry Gorman Velian who plays in a much better league any day of the week, honestly.
Mm-hmm. The hungriness. Because we're playing against Macedonia. Macedonia, and then we've got Germany. And then left side, it's 3 games. They're going to bring a big squad for this one.
Yeah, we're going to need a big squad. So, you know what? For those worried on if Gorman Velian will play for the Armenian national team, he is Artsakhtsi. There's no way an Artsakhtsi is not going to want to play for Armenia. And he does.
Very good point.
Yeah, not just that. I mean, as we said when he signed his first professional contract a few episodes ago, if you guys remember, he's not just Artsakhtsi. He says he wants to play for Armenia. He states that. The Nantes page actually wrote, like in the presentation, Armenian player. And last but not least, and this is a very important point in my opinion, the French Federation does not have the same policy that the Russian Federation does regarding minority players and especially Armenian players. The French system in any aspect, and football is not the exception, is very close and very respectful of Armenian things, of everything Armenian. So, yeah, all things considered, he is going to play for Armenia.
Yeah, and
I personally see Gore making his professional debut for Nantes, not Armenia. I see it because it's a trend with the top leagues. Nantes is a competitive team, and with the preseasons that he's playing now, that he's training with, they're definitely going to give him a chance. He's one of the 2 youngsters to be given the internal transfer. Strikers, one of the 2 strikers.
Quentin
Marlin. He started every single preseason game. So if that's an indication.
Merlin, he's BFF in a way, is a Nantes emblem actually by now. Like he's a trademark, just like Gore. He's like Nantes born and raised. And he's one of the starters for the French under-21 team. So both these guys have a lot of chemistry because they shared a lot of years, the same locker room, the same lineup, and they're gonna tear things up together.
Yeah, they are. So look out for Gorman Velian. He also has an Armenian flag on his Instagram page, if you're wondering, and it comes before the French flag. So there you go.
Yeah.
Little one for you. Who's next, Armin? What do we got?
We have everything, baby. Look, in Israel, this is a new one. Hapoel Nof HaGalil got promoted to top flight, the first division. And look at this. They have 20-year-old striker Samir Farhoud Yakubian. Samir will have a shot now at top tier footy. So look closely to the Israeli league, especially Hapoel Nof HaGalil and Samir Farhoud. Striker, 20-year-old striker, that's also very needed. What do you guys think about this? I think he would be a great alternative for the national team.
I think, considering our striking options, we have Briasco Balakian, who currently plays for the biggest club in Argentina. And then
he's not going to start. But...
let me get there. We also have Sagis Adamyan, who plays for Hoffenheim. And then we also have our very seasoned domestic players, Karapetyan and Miranyan, who will likely get called up. And now we have this Gorman Velian into the mix. We have Herman Kurbashian, who plays for the under-21s, that could get a chance. I don't know how likely it is to have him even be considered, honestly. maybe for the under 21, maybe. And which I think wouldn't be a bad idea considering the under 21's latest results were a little not so
Ouch.
good.
Yeah, not 21, not under 21. So this is a UEFA. The Israeli league is solid, you know, and if he manages to start for his team, a 20-year-old striker playing at 20 years old in a decent UEFA league, that's good enough. At least for the Armenian national team bench.
September is early though. September is early for him to prove himself. It's way too early.
Oh, yeah, he has time. I mean, I'm not saying right away, you know.
Look, if you're Kaparos and you have 4 striker spots that you're trying to fill, and if you have an option of a player who broke in and is playing first team in Ligue 1, like, let's say you're only going to take one young youth striker. Are you going to take the Liga guy, or are you going to take the guy who plays in the Israeli league?
Manvelian, definitely.
It's starting to get competitive.
That's the thing. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, look,
that's good.
And also,
if you start scoring,
also, by the way, Manvelian in preseason has been considered lately, especially by Nantes coach, as a winger, not as a number 9. So he is polyfunctional. Maybe he could be dropped to the wings, Manvelian, and leave the striking option for Samir. That's the thing. Polyfunctionality and versatility goes a long way.
Yeah, it does. And as we know, in the Armenian national team, you play for one position, you play in all positions. So
Exactly.
DEPTH.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's also that. It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah, and Vasilios Bogosian
to Kras. Oh, never mind. Wait,
plays for Olympiacos. Got promoted.
Oh yeah.
In the Greek league.
Yeah.
Hopefully, our boys at Hellas Footy can say his name plenty of times when he starts assisting a lot of goals or something like that. So
yeah, and by the way, shout out Alex Koutakos, who today I think told us that Hovhannisyan has been included in the whole squad as a sparing for PAOK. For the European list.
Yeah.
So.
And he's a good, solid young fullback option, but of course he is also in the Greek national team radar as well. And as we know, Greece is trying to rebuild at this moment in time. And if they have an option to take a good young fullback that plays for PAOK, they might trigger it. And who knows, he might want to play for Greece over us. We don't.
But Kaparos has that influence. Like Kaparos would say that we're looking for, center backs, fullbacks, and then it can happen. So.
Youth development.
Well, yeah.
You could say, do you want to go to Sevilla?
Oh, you want to go?
You want to go to Sevilla?
Yeah, Chico. Yeah, they never lie.
All right, moving on. Edward Svertyan.
Before we move on, look out for the Israeli league. Look out for the Greek league for our young players. Ligue 1. It's going to be plenty of young Armenian talent popping out of nowhere now.
Yeah, it's honestly kind of hard to keep track of all of them now.
Speaking of young Armenian talent, though.
Yes, Edward Svertyan is now officially a full-fledged Krasnodar first team player. Now that we got that bullshit, excuse my language, national team formalities out of the way.
Nice.
The Russian Federation and Krasnodar both accepted that Svertyan is Armenian and is playing for Armenia, and there's nothing they can do about it. They finally realized that they have a good player on their hands, and they won 3-0 on their first game. He played as a number 10, and he had a fantastic game, and it looks like he is probably going to be a consistent starter for Krasnodar.
Keep him there. Keep him calm. And just keep playing him there. That's what I want to see. Not center midfield. Cam. CM worst case scenario. But I think we've got that covered.
Yeah, and it also, of course, depends on what formation Kapados plays, but if he ever feels like a number 10 is necessary,
Exactly.
Spertian will do the job. I know a lot of people will say Henrik, but Henrik can probably just play on the wings and bring creativity from. Okay.
Oh no.
Asigana naman. All right. Moving on. 23-year-old striker Artem Galadzyan made his RPL debut for Nizhny Novgorod in a 1-0 win against Sochi. Armen, tell us a little bit more about Artem.
He made his youth career in Lokomotiv Moscow, one of the big four in Russia, and when he was, I believe, 20 years old, he said he wanted to play for Armenia, and guess what happened?
They drop him.
Yep, they froze him out one season and let him go the next season. Luckily for him, by the time he was 21, I believe, he signed for Nizhny Novgorod, a new club with a lot of money, and they were in the third or second tier and went up and up and Russian Premier League, baby. I have this thing. I am fixated. I am obsessed with the Nizhny Novgorod's stadium. Look it up. If you listeners get a chance, it's a beautiful stadium. Imagine Artem Galadzyan's goals under, of course, a full crowd. Eventually, the crowd going crazy. It would be beautiful.
Yeah, it would be. And sticking to the Russian theme and talking about what would be beautiful, future world beater Arsen Zakharyan scored the RPL opener against Horik Bayramyan's Rostov side. Dynamo Moscow defeated Rostov 2-0, and Zakharyan, who honestly looks like he's going to be the next big thing in world football, is probably slipped away at this point from Armenia, unfortunately. But
yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it is okay.
We got Spertian.
who I'm gonna be honest, maybe has not scored as many goals as him, but that's, I think, because Spertian hasn't been given as many opportunities as Zakharyan's been given.
Hands down.
Yep. I believe that if you are going to give them both full RPL seasons, I will put money down that Spertian will be just as efficient and productive as Zakharyan this season. And we'll check back in at the end of the season. I guarantee you.
In my opinion, I think Zaha is one step ahead. Zaha will be a world star. I mean, big teams like top 10 world teams, especially ones from England, according to rumors, big English teams want him now at 18.
Mm-hmm.
But Spertian would be world class too. I mean, of course, he's not going to be a world star, but he's definitely going to reach Henrik Mkhitaryan levels.
Yeah, I think so. So anyway, enough about him. He doesn't play for us. But another player that does play for us is Spertian does, but another attacking midfielder, Koryan, played the last 5 minutes in Khimki's 1-3 loss to Zenit St. Petersburg. Koryan has been dealing with a lot of injuries on and off, so he has been a little inconsistent with his play time, but it looks like he is fit. It looks like he is back, and I'm very confident that he will break back into the starting 11 at Khimki, because we all know what kind of a talented player Koryan is. But Chadens, I'm going to pose this question to you. Do you think Koryan's going to get called up to the national team?
Yeah, because we're having issues. Because we're having issues before, with a bit of the attacking section. Personally, that's what I believe. But now that like I said before, it's 3 games. Again, like last time, and it's 3 games which are going to be really hard. One of the opponents is the one that we didn't play, and also it's 2 away games. So the more we have at our disposal, the better. I mean, yeah, okay, he's had injuries, but I mean, it's in 1 month. So if you give him some time, I think he'll be called up.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. And that is going to conclude. Oh my God, no, it's not going to conclude. Jesus Christ. Well, moving on to the next one. Žilina had a 3-0 win against Sered, where Vahan provided 2 assists. And Ottoman's note here saying that's why he didn't start the second game versus Apollon, who had already comfortably won the first leg and sealed the victory. So Vahan, it looks like this guy is arguably one of the most underrated young talents in European football right now. And we're not only saying that because we're Armenian, we're saying it because it's true. This guy has scored and assisted on the European stage. He's consistently doing it in the league. He is more than ready to take that next step in his career. The issue is maybe he's just not on people's radar for some reason. Ottoman, what do you think about that?
That he is on people's radar. I remember during the Euros, he got mentioned a couple times, especially when Sweden were playing, because he was one of the few players that scored on Sweden during the last 2 years. And they were highlighting how young he is.
I believe
21 years old, bro.
Yeah, I believe something like it was the first goal Sweden had conceded in like 11 or 12 matches. And they had said Vahan Bichakyan of Armenia was the first player to score on them in like 12 matches or something like that. That's what the commentators said.
At the rate he's been growing at Žilina, it looks like he's been at Žilina forever, but it's only been like 3 or 4 years, and he is 21.
He's approaching the last year of his contract. This is the last season on his contract.
Yeah, and at the rate Žilina has been nurturing him, he could go anywhere.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. A lot of players from Slovakia end up in Serie A, so that is very much a possibility. And we know that he has his family, his dad Vardan Bichakyan is a very smart guy, best Armenian manager we could probably say right now, and we know his support group's not stupid. Hence why he signed with the same agency as Marek Hamšík. Hence why he's playing in Slovakia right now instead of Russia, making smart moves.
It's all about the long term.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, look, I wouldn't mind him playing this season in Žilina, because especially if they get European competition, if they make it to the Conference League, even better. Let him play, let him get that experience. And what's being 22? If you're 22 in playing in Serie A, that's just as good as being 21 and playing in Serie A.
Yeah,
all right.
You said it.
Next up, Andre the Giant Kalisier had played 2 full games for his new Danish side Silkeborg, a 0-0 draw versus, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, and Copenhagen. So he has been awarded man of the match. He has been really, really solid at the back, and that's really good to see, because we are going to need him to make up for whoever is going to be his partner against Macedonia, which I don't even want to think about right now. But good, as long as he is fit and healthy, that's what we need. We need a fit and healthy Andre, and hopefully, knock on wood, he stays healthy.
1 month. Oh, 1 month.
I know there's 1 month, man. I don't know. I can't wait. Well, moving on. Being knocked to your neck of the woods, Armen. Norberto Briasco-Balakian played well in Boca Juniors Libertadores match against, it was...
Mineiro.
Atlético Mineiro. And they were unfairly knocked out after some extremely suspect refereeing, a really bad VAR call, which I'm
South America, baby.
As South America as it gets. A fight broke out. A bunch of the Boca Juniors players went to jail for the night. Our boy Norby got a metal pole and hit someone with it, I think.
Tito is never here for these discussions.
I know, he's never here. I wish he was here for this one, because I know he would have a lot to say about this one.
But fair is fair. The previous times, I don't know, but this time I know for sure that he wasn't able to make it.
Yeah. So there was questions or up in the air because of how scheduling works in South America as to whether Balakian would be able to join the national team next month, because there was a possibility that the Boca and River Cup match, Onman, is that right?
Won't. Yeah, but it won't.
Yeah.
Derby has been
it's supposed to be
scheduled for this week.
Yeah. So he probably will be able to join the national team, which is fantastic news. Because I'm just going to skip one right now. Sargis Adamyan, for unbeknownst to many people right now, is actually injured. He tore a muscle in his thigh. I don't know if it was a full tear or if it was a partial tear. I think it was a partial tear. And he is expected to be out until mid-August. And national team of camp and our first match is on the 3rd, I believe. So it's going to be very close. And we're not sure if Hoffenheim is going to allow Sako to join the national team. So we're going to be closely monitoring that one. Yeah, it would not be the first time. So we're going to be closely monitoring that. And of course, that's even more important as to Balakian being able to join the national team, because these are super important fixtures.
And bear in mind, we are playing Germany this window,
which we know that he can score against. But you know what, considering...
No. I'm not saying that because of that.
Why then? This is the hardest game we have.
We are playing Germany. As Sako, who plays for a German team from the German Deutsches Football.
There's not that much conspiracy. It's not that deep, bro. I don't think his coach gives a shit, to be honest.
I beg to differ. No. His coach is from the Hovhannisyan family.
That's true, but also that's something you could sue for. I'm just throwing it out there. Anyway,
what?
The match. Well, here's my thing. Even if, let's say, he's not fully fit by Macedonia, the game is in Germany. It's in Stuttgart. So the Sako can join the national team the day before the game. So that'll give him an extra 4 days of recovery time and a shorter travel distance, because he's not going to have to go to Macedonia. He just stays in Germany.
I don't know, man. I hope it does, but I wouldn't count on it.
I'm telling you, I see him not playing against Macedonia, but I see him being part of the squad against Germany. Anyway, speaking of hopefully seeing in the squad, Henrik Mkhitaryan in a preseason match for Roma against Porto got disgustingly tackled, career-ending type tackle from Pepe. And
always
Henrik
does that guy, always.
And Henrik proceeded to immediately start to fight him.
Especially because
only this guy did.
Especially because Heno speaks Portuguese. So
yeah, so it's crazy that a lot of people were surprised at this. But if you really think about it, Henrik's gotten into 5 fights in his career. He literally always gets into fights, at least 1 fight a season, literally. If you look back, he's gotten into so many fights, so it's not surprising.
Mourinho was sitting and laughing at it.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started on that guy.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how Mourinho, and apparently they've squashed the beef. Apparently he's ready to play under Mourinho, and apparently Mourinho is ready to utilize the full extent of Henrik Mkhitaryan. And we'll see how that goes.
He better, or else Caparros will call him.
Yeah, right? Well, that's going to end it for the news, and we are going to jump into a few transfer rumors to wrap up the show. First off, something that was broken out yesterday. Apparently, our Armenian National Team prospect, I'm going to call him prospect because he has not made his debut yet, Davidyan of Alashkert, is set to join Armenian National teammate Koryan at Khimki in the Russian Premier League. He reportedly underwent a physical exam and should be announced as a signing in the coming days. Of course, this is a big blow to Alashkert, who are still in the hunt for European competition. But good news for the Armenian national team, because we have another winger playing in the Russian Premier League. So Davidyan, we all know, is extremely talented. He's very fast. He's very good. And if he starts performing in Russia, he can definitely be another winger option for the national team.
The thing is, he should because we're always sending players there or Kazakhstan, so at least they should just perform better.
Exactly.
And then there's the problem that he is still eligible for Russia because, as you said, he hasn't made his debut for Armenia yet.
He's not going to get called up to the Russian national team. There's no way. I
don't think so.
I know, and I agree, but they can still freeze him out.
I don't think he would have gone knowing that if that was still a possibility, because he's made it clear he wants to play for Armenia.
Yeah, then there's that, but you never know.
Situation was an example for all.
Well, Spertan was different. Well, I mean, Davidian had a similar experience previously already, so that's where this is kind of all stemming from. But anyway, let's see what happens. Let him go there. Let him perform. Exactly. We'll see if he gets included in the September squad list. I don't know if he is. It's a toss-up, man. It really depends on who's fit. But we'll see.
I don't think he will be called up. First, I want him to play for Khimki and to get some quality minutes at the Russian Premier League, and then we'll know for sure.
Then we'll talk. Solomon Udo, a fan favorite here at Football Kentron, has been loaned out to fellow Kazakh side Atrau. He will play in central midfield alongside Armenian national team. Has it? Dashan's played for the national team.
Played.
Yeah, former Armenian national team player Artak Dashan and goalkeeper Aram Harapetyan, who Ottoman says are good assets for the national team bench, but I preferably would hope to never see Aram Harapetyan anywhere near that bench, because I don't think he's a good goalkeeper.
Jesus.
It's that's just my honest opinion, man. He's had plenty of chances in goal.
He can't play with his feet, and he's very dangerous with his feet for us. But he has great reflexes. If you think about it, Caparros is comfortable with goalkeepers playing with their feet. So maybe that's not a good fit.
I don't think he's going to be, especially considering now we have Varujan, Hovhannisyan, we have the Armenian under 21 goalkeeper. We have Manuel Nazaretian of Marseille. Working. Oh, I know. We talked about long-term prospect. Well, you know what? You're forgetting that Aram Harapetyan is the same age as Yurchenko.
Exactly, and he plays at a better league now.
Doesn't matter.
He does, but Yurchenko's had a much better career. Much better.
Yurchenko is better. Yurchenko is better, objectively speaking, but there's also competition. The fact that Harapetyan is performing and delivering at a solid league.
Yes, but international level is completely different. International level is completely different. He's had plenty of chances on him. He's had plenty of chances.
How long has it been?
Wins with him.
Since he's played, it's been like 2 years since he's played for Armenia.
Forget it. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't think it's gonna. It doesn't seem realistic.
I'd rather see Ivazov.
Why not?
Or Begladian.
Yeah, Ivazov. Bring Razu players, actually.
Well, last but not least, Jirat Shavoyan has snubbed Dynamo Moscow, reportedly at the last minute, and broke off the deal. He was reportedly due for a medical in Moscow, and he was at Zvarnots airport in Yerevan getting ready to fly out into Russia when at the last minute he decided to not go. It has been previously reported that members of his family, who are his representatives, were very opposed to him going to the Russian Premier League, and because they want him to play in Western Europe. Now, questions are also arising as to whether Giro has any other options out there.
Well, sorry that I'm asking this, but when was it? Because I don't know. When was this?
A few days ago. This was like a week ago now.
A week ago? Oh, I thought it was like 2-3. Well, really recent.
Yeah, this is very recent. Yeah, this is very recent. He was
ready
to
I think
go.
Something else happened. Yeah, for sure. No. I think something happened because the league also has started. He was in the photos of Ararat Armenia. I don't know. The thing is, with us, we don't know much info. Like I said in our group chat, our thing is that because no one talks much about us, we don't have inside information because we don't have people like David Ornstein or Horncastle or people, big names reporting about us. So
we don't have a. We need a Fabrizio Romanian.
We need someone like that for sure.
Hook us up with Nobel Arustamian then.
Maybe. So Armin, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think Giro is going to be an Ararat Armenia player this season? He is, of course, a professional, so he is training with the team. He is playing with the team. They have a match now, I'm saying tomorrow, against the Alashkert, which Sunday, by the time this is out, the match will have already concluded. It doesn't matter if he plays games for Ararat Armenia. He could still sign and leave Armenia. It wouldn't be an issue. But the reported fee, this was the interesting part, was €500,000, which I think is insanely low. Like, insane. I think that's one. I don't know if I want to say undervalued, but maybe because he, had played for Bekma in the second division or whatever. But realistically speaking, almost any club in the top flight of Europe can afford that fee.
Yeah, that's why when they're looking at it, they will think, oh, okay, who is he? He's not much of a big deal. We don't want to lose too much on him, so we'll just pay 500K. I remember with Liverpool, it was with Grujic. They did with it's Red Star, so it's like a top club in Serbia. Okay, Serbia is not Armenia level; it's a little bit better, but still, it was like $1 million. I think $1 million they paid for him or something like that. So these kind of they're kind of considered like underdog or like hidden gems. That's why they would find it that's kind of cheap for him.
Yeah.
But if you look at it from a top team's perspective, they will think a bargain, but also don't rate him too high just in case.
Let me put it this way. Let me frame it this way for you guys. So we knew that Giro was heavily linked to Sevilla because of of course, the Armenian connection that we have to Sevilla with Kaparos.
And Genoa.
Yeah, well, the Genoa was more serious. The Genoa came from more trustworthy sources.
True.
Which one?
And then there's Saccardo.
Well, let me get to my point. My point is very recently, a few days ago, I want to say, Sevilla signed Eric Lamela on a free transfer from Tottenham, who is, of course, a winger in the same position as Giro. So that might have had some influence there. Maybe Sevilla was looking into him, but they felt they needed a more sure player right now, a proven player, and they were able to get Eric Lamela on a free transfer. So maybe that looked like better business at the time, which sucks for us. Yeah, I don't think Lamela is that great of a player personally, but
he's proven.
He's proven. That's my point. And Giro isn't. So
he's young. Yeah.
Like you said,
so backup option.
Yeah, Christian Zaccardo, of course, represents him now, which is great. And who knows? Maybe there was or is a guaranteed concrete offer from Genoa coming in. Because I'm sure if I'm Giro, I would rather play in Genoa than Dinamo, honestly.
For sure. For sure.
Anyone with half a brain would, but the thing is, even if it's not Genoa, it depends, because half the world could have made an offer. We don't know yet.
Exactly. We don't know, and we probably won't know, which is crazy, but it's true.
Hopefully, it does have to do with Zaccardo.
Hopefully, and we'll see. Maybe by the time this episode's out, he would have a transfer announced. We don't know.
Hopefully,
fingers crossed.
Let's see.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. Thank you for joining us. We discussed a lot. Wow, this ended up being a lot longer than I thought. It always is, right?
Quick little note. Soon we're probably we're gonna be sharing a lot of preparation content for the games next month. So make sure you share, like, everything like that.
All that jazz.
There's a lot coming up.
Yep, and don't forget.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Don't forget, Alashkert are taking on Kairat Almaty in the UEFA Europa League. Watch that match. There's two legs. Kamo Hovhannisyan is going to be playing. Support all of our players who are playing in European competition. And tweet us, man. Talk to us. We like to talk to you guys. We like our interactions. Yep, that's it. On behalf of the boys here, thank you for listening. And until next time.
Boom, 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 boom.
See you all.